World War I, often remembered for its brutal trench warfare and staggering human toll, witnessed a complex web of battles and strategic movements that reshaped the map of Europe. Among these events, the Russian War and the concurrent race to the sea stand out as pivotal chapters in the war's early stages. This article delves into these interconnected narratives, exploring the impact of Russian military actions and the frantic dash to secure vital positions on the Western Front. The Russian offensive, Eastern Front unleashed. When World War I erupted in 1914, the conflict swiftly evolved into a multi-front war. On the Eastern Front, the Russian Empire launched an ambitious offensive against the Austro-Hungarian Empire, with the intent of drawing forces away from the Western Front and thus aiding their allies. The Russian offensive aimed to conquer Galicia, a region in modern-day Ukraine, and threaten the Austro-Hungarian heartland. The Russian War, marked by fierce battles and rapid advances, showcased the vastness of the Eastern Front and the ability of both sides to rapidly redeploy troops. The initial Russian successes highlighted the importance of strategic mobility, but also showcased the vulnerabilities that came with overstretched supply lines and the challenging logistics of such large-scale operations. Race to the sea, the Western Front escalates. As the Russian War raged on the Eastern Front, another theater of operations took center stage on the Western Front. Here, a different kind of warfare emerged. The failure of the Schlieffen Plan, an ambitious German strategy aimed at a swift victory by encircling and defeating the French, resulted in a series of battles and counterattacks, leading to a stalemate. The deadlock forced both sides to seek alternative routes to outflank their enemies. This gave rise to the race to the sea, a frenzied contest to extend and secure lines of defense along the Western Front. The objective was to gain positional advantage and ultimately outmaneuver the enemy, preventing them from exploiting weaknesses in the defense. The race led to the extension of the trench network, as each side dug in to consolidate its position. This sprawling network of trenches would soon become the hallmark of the Western Front's grueling trench warfare. Interconnected realities, impact on the war effort. While the Russian War and the race to the sea occurred on different fronts, their impact was intertwined. The Russian offensive diverted German forces from the Western Front to deal with the threat on the Eastern Front, relieving some pressure on the Allies. This, in turn, fueled the frenetic movement of troops westward to reinforce positions in the race to the sea. However, the interconnectedness of these actions also meant that any change on one front could reverberate across the other. The stalemate on the Western Front necessitated a delicate balancing act, as both sides maneuvered to prevent their flanks from being exposed while also maintaining enough forces to contest the Russian advances. Legacy and lessons. The Russian War and the race to the sea illustrated the complex dynamics of a war fought on multiple fronts. They underscored the significance of strategic mobility, the vulnerabilities of stretched supply lines, and the challenges of maintaining fluidity in the face of entrenched positions. These events served as a prelude to the prolonged trench warfare that would characterize much of the conflict, highlighting the difficulty of breaking the cycle of attrition and the intricate balance of power between opponents. Conclusion. The Russian War and the race to the sea were crucial turning points in the early stages of World War I, shaping the direction of the conflict and laying the groundwork for the prolonged and devastating trench warfare that followed. These interconnected narratives serve as a reminder of the complexities and consequences of military decisions on different fronts, as well as the profound impact of